UN 영어뉴스 스타워즈 Andor 리뷰 Prequel series is uneven. It takes a while to build up steam, but Andor eventually gives an insight into the everyday reality of life in the Star Wars galaxy, along with political intrigue, spycraft, and daring level missions. Writes Stephen Kelly. Star Wars Andor, the prequel series to the 2016 film Rogue One. A prequel itself opens with a sequence that is dark and stylish. Our hero, the doomed rebel Cassian Andor, Diego Luna, has landed on a planet called Molana 1, home to the company town of Prequel, in order to seek out information on his missing sister. It is night, and the rain is falling hard. Andor, a shadow making its way through dimly lit streets, with neon signs burning through the murk, comes to a place heavily suggested to be a brothel. Later, having left with few answers, he is ambushed by two men. The camera rests on Luna's face as they approach from behind, rain drumming on his shoulders. He kills one by accident, the other in cold blood. It is an opening that announces Andor as something a bit grittier, a bit grimmer, and more mature than other Star Wars TV projects. Creator Tony Gilroy, best known for his work in adapting the Bond trilogy and for overseeing vital film-saving reshoots on Rogue One, has said that he wanted Andor to be about real people rather than Skywalker royalty. There's a billion other beings in the galaxy, he told Variety. What are their lives like? The revolution is affecting them just as much as anybody else. Why not use the Star Wars canon as a host organism for absolutely realistic, passionate, dramatic storytelling? It's an intriguing idea, although based on the 4 episodes made available to critics. Andor is a curiously uneven work, meandering and ponderous in its plotting, striking in its production design and on-location shooting, and ultimately as underwhelming as it is promising. Set during the height of the Empire, between the events of Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, Andor tells the story of how Cassian Andor, the cold-hearted rebel, first introduced in Rogue One, rose to become a key figure in the rebellion. The first 3 episodes, released in a block, introduce him as something quite different, a lowly salvager with a talent firstly from the Empire, who now finds himself wanted for murder. He needs to get off the planet of Forex, which mostly takes the form of a rundown town, full of giant scrapyards and decaying factories. Unlike other Star Wars Disney Plus shows, Andor eschews the volume, a massive LED screen that is used to create photorealistic backdrops in favor of a traditional blend of green screen and practical sets locations. It's a choice that makes Andor stand out, at least visually, compared to its predecessors, whereas Obi-Wan Kenobi was plagued by a look that felt too lifeless and limited for the cinematic story it was trying to tell. The practical sets of Andor, if reports are to be believed, the set of FedEx was essentially a fully functioning town. Ground the story in the dirt and the grime of the galaxy. It is by far the best Star Wars has looked on TV, albeit with the caveat that it is still no match for the lavishness of a Star Wars movie. Rather than being under direct imperial control, FedEx has instead been outsourced to a nebulous corporation. It is an interesting detail, analogous perhaps to companies who profited from Nazi collaboration during World War II amidst a barrage of dense, disorientating world building, where characters and concepts are introduced with little to no explanation. It is perhaps a creative choice, an attempt to give the world a sense of richness and lived-in authenticity, but it mostly ends up making its first couple of episodes feel narratively confused and alienating. It certainly doesn't help either that after Andor's wonderfully moody and atmospheric opening, the show spends 3 entire episodes, around 45 minutes each, building up to Cassian's escape from FedEx. It's a 3-parter that feels protracted and listlessly paced, almost as if it is an episode too long. We follow Cassian as he attempts to raise the funds to get off-world by selling a piece of imperial technology. Along the way, we are introduced to various companions and acquaintances, including his unremarkable scrap dealer friend, Biggs Adria Arjona, who is trying to arrange a deal with a buyer, and his mentor, Marva, played by the indomitable Fiona Shaw. These scenes are intercut with an investigation by Corpo Zillot, Cyril Khan, Kyle Soller, who is accompanied by a sergeant played by the great Alex Fogg, Trevor from EastEnders for the Bridge, and a series of fairly tedious flashbacks to Cassian's childhood, where he grew up as part of a tribe on a planet ravaged by the Empire. Start. Episode 3, at least, is where things start to happen. This is where we first meet Stellan Skarsgård's Luden, who lands on Felix to recruit Cassian into the rebellion. Don't you want to fight these bastards for real? He growls in one standout scene. Skarsgård, his voice full of glass and gravel, his grandeur and gravitas undeniable, is just the jump start the show needs, and his arrival is followed by some much needed action. However, it is the first episode where Andor starts to live up to the promise made by its arresting trailers and marketing. It is presumably why Disney gave critics 4 episodes instead of the first 3. It is here that we get to the meat of Andor: political intrigue, spycraft, and daring level missions. There are scenes set on the capital planet of Coruscant, where Genevieve O'Reilly's Mon Mothma, a senator destined to lead the Rebel Alliance, finds her every move watched by the Empire. There is a storyline that takes us into the inner workings of the Imperial Security Bureau, ISB, where cold, stiff Imperial officers with English accents talk about order and navigate internal power struggles. As for Cassian, he has found himself part of a ragtag team who must pull off an impossible haste. It is an episode that also features some spectacular on-location shooting, with shots of TIE fighters fly over the grand green vistas of the Scottish Highlands. Compared to other Star Wars shows, it is a slower, more granular beast, or concerned with talks of space politics over dinner rather than the switching of lightsabers, but away from the drudgery of FedEx. The show is finally able to escape orbit and give us some of the insight into the everyday reality of the galaxy, as described by Gilroy. Whether that means that Andor is Star Wars for grown-ups remains to be seen. There are suggestions of maturity in its tone and aesthetic, but at this stage it's too early to tell whether the show has the means to explore adult themes in a universe that was constructed for children. Similarly, it is a tricky task to judge a 12-part series like Andor based on a quartet of uneven episodes. It is a series that starts well, meanders into tedium, gradually improves, and then finishes with an episode that suggests an immense amount of promise. It is like a young Jedi Padawan, so full of glorious possibilities, their talent obvious to everyone, whose future is crowded by the Force. Will they bring new hope to the Star Wars universe, or leave everyone in bitter disappointment? We, at the very least, have faith